Look at that! Port Davey and Bathurst Harbour. What a view! And it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Is that the airstrip down there? Surely not. It doesn't look very big. Hope it's bigger than it looks. There's some buildings. So that's the airstrip all right. We're circling round it now. We'll soon be on the ground. Ah, on the ground. What a beaut flight. That was exciting. The scenery was terrific.
Hello. Just arrived, have you?
Yes, that's right. And I'll be glad to settle into the hut.
Well, both huts are already overcrowded, so you might have to use your tent. There are good sites under the trees.
Both huts? What about the one over there?
Ah, that's not a hut. That's a private residence.
What? You mean someone lives here?
Yes, a very remarkable man, Charles Denison King, lived here for 45 years until his death in 1991. His biography, written by Christopher Mattingly, was published in 2001. This presentation is a tribute to that man, Denny King, King of the Wilderness. His early years were spent at a very remote property, Sunset Ranch, about 14 kilometres beyond Judbury. But for most of his life, he lived at Port Davey. This late 1920s photo shows Denny and his mother, Ollie, and sisters Wynne, Rose and Olive on a footbridge at the Picton River, a few kilometres from the family home. In the 1930s, Denny worked with his father, Charlie, at Cox Bight. All the mining was done with pick and shovel. Much of the workings are still visible. Although accommodation was often in tents, some huts were built for better protection from the wild weather which often hit the area. Denny joined the army in 1940 and served in the Middle East and New Guinea as a sapper in the Royal Australian Engineers. He saw heavy machinery working and realised how much it could help with the mining. Upon discharge, he returned to the southwest, this time to an area near Melaleuca Lagoon, where in 1946-47 he built a house adapted from the Nissen huts he knew in the army. He chose this style for its ability to withstand extreme winds. This view of the house was taken in 1959, 10 years after he married Margaret Cadell, a Red Cross officer he met in an army hospital while recovering from injury. 5th of November 1949, Denny and Margaret on their wedding day. Later that day, they left for Port Davey to begin their married life in the house at Melaleuca. It became a real family home with the birth of two daughters, Mary and Janet, seen here with their parents and Denny's father, Charlie. The isolation of Port Davey and their dependence on others for transport to and from Hobart prompted them in 1950 to buy their own boat, renaming it Melaleuca. It's moored here in Melaleuca Inlet, not far from their home. As firewood wasn't available near the house, all supplies had to be brought several kilometres by boat. Visiting bushwalkers willingly assisted by cutting and then carrying it to the dinghies for ferrying out to the Melaleuca. Over the years, many parties helped in this way, and Denny in turn transported them to other parts of Port Davey or Bathurst Harbour for the start of their walks. As so much effort went into collecting the wood, every piece was precious. The only fuel available near the house was peat. This was cut into suitable sized blocks and dried, ready for use. The boat gave great service for 40 years, transporting tin concentrate to Hobart and returning to Port Davey with materials for the mine and food and other supplies needed for day-to-day living. In Hobart, the tin was transferred to a truck for transport to the buyer in Launceston. Denny made over 150 trips to Hobart. When this photo was taken, the weather was calm at Southwest Cape. It wasn't always like that. In December 1959, Denny conveyed a Launceston Walking Club party to the mouth of the Old River for the start of a walk to Federation Peak. The party gathered a large quantity of these rocks for transport via blue boat to the 13-metre Melaleuca. Denny then took them back to a site near his home where they were used for the chimney in a house he was building for bushwalkers. This hut was built in the same Nissen style as his house. He named it the Charles King Memorial Hut in memory of his father. This was taken in 1984 after it was repainted by a Launceston Walking Club party. To cater for the increasing number of walkers coming to the region, he built a second hut in 1976, using assistance from this club and other bushwalking parties where possible. It was repainted by a Launceston Walking Club party in 1985. This was the inside as built by Denny. National parks have since made considerable internal alterations, including removal of the fireplace. As well as bushwalkers, many boats have visited Port Davey, including the Eye of the Wind. For a number of years, she brought parties of tourists. On a visit in 1985, the skipper invited Denny and his daughter Mary to lunch on the deck. Whether sailors or walkers, Denny's hospitality was legendary. But he was a bit camera shy, and often photos had to be grabbed when he couldn't escape, such as in the wheelhouse of his boat. From Melaleuca Inlet and Bathurst Harbour, Mount Rugby is the dominating feature. When Denny sailed past it on his way back from Hobart, he knew he was nearly home. He also enjoyed walking with some of the visiting parties, such as on this occasion when whale bones were found north of Port Davey. He marked a track from Bathurst Harbour to the base of the Western Arthur Range and led this party as far as the summit of Pegasus South. Using the mine's D2 tractor with dozer blade, Denny built an airstrip near the house and mine. It was a colossal task for one man and a small machine, but when the first plane landed in November 1957, it gave the family much greater security, knowing with the help of their two-way radio, Hobart was less than an hour's flying time away. Others too were quick to see the value of the airstrip, with bushwalkers in particular using it as a quick means of getting into the far southwest. This 1973 photo shows what we may tongue-in-cheek call the first terminal building. Denny's excitement ran high when in January 1984, an Army Caribou became the first large aircraft to use the airstrip. Note the new International Airport Terminal building. 12th of January 1974 was a clear sunny day, a special day. 85 guests had arrived by foot, boat and plane for Melaleuca's first and only wedding, that of Denny's eldest daughter, Mary.